Hello, I'm Lee Bernick, Dean of the Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Urban Report. In this edition, we are going to have interviews with three of our student athletes. We're very excited to have the guests on here, and they're going to talk about their experiences at UNLV. Our first guest is probably someone that if you watch Rebel basketball, you'll know, right? And he's out there all the time. Our first guest is Justin Hawkins. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about, well, first, we'll get into where we're going in this year and everything, but first, how did you get to UNLV?
It was just an amazing journey, you know. In high school, I always wanted to be a Division I athlete, not knowing where exactly I was going, but my freshman year, sophomore year, I was getting heavily recruited by UNLV, by Lon Kruger, Lou Hill, Steve Henson while they were here. I was out here for a tournament. They saw me play, and then about a week or two later, called me up, came on a visit. They were like, "We're offering you a scholarship. It's on the table. It's yours if you want it or not." Talked it over with my mom. Came back about an hour later. I was like, "Coach Hill, Coach Kruger, I'm coming to UNLV."
Okay, but you wanted to play Division I basketball. Were you recruited by other Division I?
Yes, I was being recruited by Kentucky when I had Coach Gillespie, Oregon State, Tennessee, UCLA, USC.
So a lot of big-time Division I teams.
Definitely.
What brought you, again, was it the coaches, was it the university, was it a combination of those things?
Like it's a lot of different factors. You know, coaching was a big part, university, city of Las Vegas, the history, the tradition of UNLV basketball, the hotel college, you know, staying close to home, you know, so my mom, the rest of my family members come see my games, you know.
So we should say that you're from the Los Angeles area, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you went to high school, and I think the high school was Taft High School,
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, Taft High School.
Taft High School in the LA, but it's not Los Angeles.
No, it's in Woodland Hills. It's right outside of Los Angeles.
Right outside. And so does your mother come over? Can she get over to see some of the games?
My mom's pretty much at all the home games, a lot of the road games where she, you know, get off work and travel to. She's definitely my biggest fan.
The biggest fan, huh?
Yes.
Well, there are a lot of fans out there and everything. So what's the experience of being a basketball player at a big time? I mean, with what, 18,000 people? I mean, do you hear the crowd?
You definitely hear the crowd, you know, whether we're at home at Thomas and Mack or if we're on the road at some other big time arenas across the country. You definitely hear the crowd because they can either give you energy or take away energy.
Take away energy, yeah. And so you play different roles. You're largely a guard, right? And my sense of watching it is they often stick you with the person that has to be defended. Yeah, you're the defender. Is that right?
Yes. The past 3 years I've been the defensive stopper for the team. You know, making sure that the opponent's top scorer, you know, held below their average, or whoever had the hot hand that night, just making sure, you know, they don't beat us.
Okay. And I do know, though, that this past year, I go to the games, I do know, I think that you've been shooting more you shot more this past year than you did the previous years. Is that right? Did they tell you to shoot?
Yeah, definitely. When Coach Rice came in, me and him had probably about like a 2-3 hour meeting about the whole chemistry of the team, everything that was going on around the university, you know, it's in the athletic department. And like pretty much came down to it, like, you know, he just wanted me to be confident in everything I did, and he saw me play in high school. He saw me be more of an offensive threat, and he just told me this past year, like, if you have the open shot, take it. If you feel like you could take your man off the dribble, go ahead. I just want you to be confident and be sure in whatever you do.
Okay. Well, we could talk for hours about basketball
Yes.
and everything, but let's talk a little bit about the other part. I mean, you are a student athlete. You're getting ready to graduate, as I understand it, in hotel. Is that right, this summer?
Yes, sir. I walked in May.
Okay.
It was a great Mother's Day present for my mom, you know, seeing her son graduate. Well, I'm finishing up my classes. I'm in my last 2 classes right now, so I'll be done August 10th. I believe it's the last day of summer school, so that means I'll be getting my degree in 3 years, so that's
pretty good deal
yes.
for a student athlete when you have to spend as much time as you
Definitely.
have in the thing. And But you're going to be around, even though that you are graduating. You're allowed to stay and continue and have eligibility because, as I understand it, you're going to go to graduate school.
Yes, I'm going to graduate school. I'm seeking acceptance to the public administration program.
Okay, and under that provision, so students who have eligibility can go to graduate school and finish out their eligibility through that and get a degree.
Yes, sir.
And I hope that you get in, and I'm sure that you will. But it's nice to see that a student. We hear an awful lot about athletes, but again, you're a case of a person in a big-time sporting event who's graduating and getting a degree, right?
Yes.
And is it tough? The last question, I guess, well, we have a lot of questions, but let me ask you this. What's going to happen this next year? What's the prediction for you for basketball next year?
Right now, the sky's the limit, you know. All the incoming freshmen, they got here about a week or two ago. They've been working hard nonstop, you know, getting acclimated to the college lifestyle, the whole student-athlete lifestyle, and they love it here. And I know all our returning players, you know, we're real hungry to, you know, build on the success we had this past year.
So are we going to win more games this year than last year?
I believe we're going to win more games. You know, we're definitely going to have a better quality of basketball throughout the whole year. No more, well, I wouldn't say no more ups and downs, but not as many ups and downs as we had last year.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to wish you good luck this year, and I want to wish you good luck in getting into the public administration program. And I want to thank you for appearing on the Urban Report.
No,
thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's take a break, and we'll bring in another student athlete.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today, and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello.
Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Hello, I want to welcome you back to this edition of the Urban Report. And we are now going to change gears, and we're going to have another student athlete, Hillary Ego. Actually, I didn't even know that Hillary was a student athlete when I first met her. I met her in Dr. Neal's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right? And you are a undergraduate research assistant.
Yes.
Right? So we'll get back to that in a minute. But Hillary is a swimmer. Is that
Yep.
and a freestyle swimmer.
Yes.
And you tell me that you are sprint, none of the long stuff.
No, I just strictly the 50 and the 100
The
freestyle.
50 and 100 freestyle. And,
Yes.
and I think I was reading that when you were in high school, though, you were the state champ in the freestyle?
Yes, in the 50 freestyle, I won the Class L state championship.
In the Class L?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was in Stamford, you were in Stamford, Connecticut
Yes,
at the time?
I'm from Connecticut.
Connecticut. And how did you get to UNLV from Stamford, Connecticut?
Well, I knew I wanted to swim in college, and definitely environmental studies was a program that I was looking at, and UNLV had everything I could have imagined to offer, so this is honestly a dream school for me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's always nice to hear that. So you came both because you wanted to swim and for the academic program.
Correct, yes.
And we like to think that that's why everybody comes to the university. But so tell me what, one of the things that I think is different for you, and then maybe for our next guy, is that you don't have 18,000 people watching. Is that?
No, we don't. Our swim meets, they're pretty small. We get basically some parents cheering for us. But I mean, there's a lot of energy that the team provides just from being around everyone. So as long as we know that we have the support from our teammates and maybe our parents back home and up in the stands, it's definitely a good atmosphere all around.
Now, have your parents been able to come out here and watch any swim events?
They've come to one, and they went to conference, but since it's so far away, because I'm from the east, it's hard for them to come out here, but they try to come to what they can.
And so they came out here, but you've had events somewhere else. I mean, how many? You don't just stay here and swim.
No, we'll travel to conference, which was in Oklahoma. It's going to be in Texas next year, and that's the only one they've come out to travel to. But it's good to know that their support is there, and also at home.
Well, we might be able to help you out, and I think in the near future, we are going to be covering more sporting events at UNLV-TV, and we might get some swimming, and so your parents might be able to see you in the competition in this. So again, small numbers of people, but you swim because you want to swim. Right?
Yeah, swimming, it's almost more like a lifestyle. There's just something about it that you just keep going, and it's about the family and the friends that you make, and it's a lot of hours, but it's definitely worth it.
So when you say a lot of hours, how many hours? I mean, what do you do? What's a typical day for Hillary?
Well, I start off in the morning. I go to morning practice at 6 o'clock, and then I go to class all day, and then usually I go back for my second practice, and we'll do dry land or weights, and then jump in the pool again. And sometimes I have class in the evening too, so I go back to class, and then I'll go home, study, go to bed.
Okay. But how many, what's the morning practice like? I mean, how long is that?
The morning, it'll typically be an hour to an hour and a half, and we'll usually we'll run and then get in the water, do a little bit of swimming, and then.
What's a little bit of swimming?
We'll do some drills, not like anything too hard. That's usually, we'll do in the afternoon, so.
Okay.
Get some technique in.
Okay. And then you go to classes, and then you have to go back in the afternoon, and you're with weights, did you say?
Yeah, so we'll lift in the weight room with our strength coach, and then we'll jump in the water after that and do our practice.
Okay, and do your practice. Okay, and then you have to go study.
Yes.
And find time for studying and everything.
I find the time somewhere. But
yeah. You've done well in school.
I like school.
You like school. Yeah, and so let me. You do the freestyle, right? And I think you told me you this past year that you all set a university record.
We broke the 200 freestyle record, which had been there for a couple years. So that was really exciting. So hopefully we'll try to get that relay to NCAA's next year too, along with a couple other relays, because we got some really strong girls coming in, and we got some great improvements from last year. Okay,
and so now you didn't get to the NCAA's this year in the freestyle.
Not this year, but it's definitely a goal that I would like to achieve.
Okay, and you were working on trying to get to the Olympic trials, is that right?
Right, I fell a little short, but in the end, I'm very happy with how far I've come so far in my swimming career, and I'm just moving on to my next goals.
Okay. And in that advancing in swimming, was there a big difference between where you were in high school and where you are now?
Definitely. I came on as a walk-on, and I definitely have seen a lot of improvement every single year, and I'm very happy with where I am today, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Okay. And as part of this student athlete, and you've talked about, you've worked with Dr. Neal. You want to mention a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm her undergraduate research assistant, so whenever she needs anything she might be writing proposals or doing work for the department, I definitely help her out with that. And I've learned a lot. I've learned how to write, how to speak. Definitely, it's a good learning experience.
A good learning experience. And you're getting ready now, you're going to be a senior,
yes.
Is that right? And you have in the program a senior project. Have you picked out a senior project?
I actually already did mine.
You did your senior project before you were a senior?
I did it as a junior.
As a junior?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Well, that's maybe typical of the swimmers. Is that it? You just are too far ahead on this thing. Is that right? So what did you do your project in?
I did mine on leadership, diversity, and innovation capacity for sustainability. And I looked at the top 100 corporate sustainable list, and I just examined how women on the board of directors impact their sustancability.
And did it make a difference?
My results showed a negative correlation, which was it was sad to see, but there are a lot of other factors that definitely impacted it too. So.
Okay, well we'll have to have you back to talk about this, about your research, and I want to thank you for showing, coming up and being part of the show, and giving everybody an example of what a great student athlete is at UNLV. Thank you very much for coming. And we'll take a break and come in with our third student athlete in just a second.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris. I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
My daughter, married and happy.
I want to see things the way I used to.
Chances are, someone you love may one day be affected by macular degeneration or glaucoma. Log on to seeabettertomorrow.org or call 1-800-437-2423 to learn about glaucoma and macular degeneration. Call 1-800-437-2423 or log on to seeabettertomorrow.org.
I just want to see more of the things I love.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes they'll go numb.
I had double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
We had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and
just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it, but at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
Hello, I want to welcome you back to this edition of the Urban Report. And our third student athlete is someone from Illinois. It's Madeline Westman, right? And I've been told we just say Maddie, right? We're just going to call you, you go by Maddie. Is that what people?
Yeah, usually it's Maddie.
Maddie,
yeah.
Okay. That's what they told me. So let's start with this, as I would say it anyway. How did you get from the suburbs of Chicago to UNLV?
Honestly, I had never heard of UNLV until the coach, Allison Keeley, she's here my freshman year. She saw me play at one of our tournaments when on my club team, we would travel all over the country. And she saw me and she told me about UNLV, and I came for a visit. And after, thinking over all my options, I decided this was the best fit for me.
Okay, and what were some of the other options that you had?
Northern Michigan, so that was really cold, and Missouri State.
Okay.
North Dakota, which is also
Another cold.
Very cold. Yeah, so the weather was definitely a pull for me.
Okay.
A different area of the country too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so you came out here and what, you're going to be a junior? A junior this year, so a couple years ago you came out.
Yeah,
right?
It's going fast.
Going fast. Now, let me just as a parenthetical, just as a side thing, do volleyball players, do they redshirt?
Yeah.
Well, you redshirt too. Right?
Yeah, I didn't redshirt,
you didn't
but
redshirt,
it's
but
possible.
people do redshirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so you got a scholarship to come out, and you traveled out here. Did your parents know what you were, what did they have to say about you coming to UNLV?
They were a big help in the whole recruiting process because it's very overwhelming to talk to all those coaches. So they were a big, big help, and they helped me decide, and they've been really, really supportive of every decision I've ever made.
Okay.
So they were awesome.
And have they come out to watch you play?
Yeah, they usually make a trip out like 2 or 3 times a year. My mom's actually coming in August, so she's really excited. And this year we're playing in Kentucky, so they're going to drive out there. They're excited they get to drive somewhere instead of fly.
Instead of flying to see you.
Yeah, so they come out every once in a while.
Okay.
So.
And so you play volleyball, and you're in the Cox. The matches are in the Cox.
Cox Pavilion,
right?
yeah.
Cox Pavilion. Nothing against volleyball, but I imagine there aren't a whole lot of people.
No, there's definitely not as many people in the Cox as there would be in the Thompson Mack. But we're actually getting a lot more fans than, since my freshman year. Our new coach, Cindy Frederick, she's really trying to get the word out there about our games, and there's been a lot more, especially younger kids too. We do a lot of camps and clinics with them, so we're getting a lot more fans than we did before.
Okay.
So it's good.
And so there are people watching. I think we've been talking about, and maybe as I was telling Hillary about swimming, we may be doing some more with UNLV-TV production.
That would be awesome.
And see what we can do.
My parents would appreciate that.
So I was reading the bio. There are all kinds of statistics about how you lead this and you're in that. I mean, they keep an awful lot of statistics in volleyball. Is that right?
Yeah, they do. There's a whole
and
bunch.
so, I mean, most of the time we think of people with, I guess, the kill shot, right? I mean, is that what it is?
You get kills.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were some other ones. I'm not quite sure. What are the different?
There's kills,
okay.
When you hit the ball down.
Right.
There's blocks when you
right.
block someone's kill. Serving aces, hitting percentage.
So what's a hitting percentage?
Hitting percentage is just the amount of times that you get a kill, out of the amount of times that you hit the ball, and it also factors in how many errors you make. It's like a big equation.
Okay. So they take your errors into consideration too.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we keep track of all these things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you were leading the team in, wasn't there? I saw something.
You know, I honestly don't know what I was leading the team in.
Oh, okay.
My mom usually keeps track of that kind of stuff.
Keeps track of all that stuff.
She usually lets me know, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you're a student. Is your day sort of like what we heard with Hillary in terms of a practice in the morning and then?
Yeah, right now in summer, it's a little bit more relaxed because we just have morning workouts. But when preseason starts, we'll have two practices a day, sometimes 3. And then during season, we just have 1 practice a day and travel a lot.
Okay.
And
we travel a lot.
We lift like twice a week.
And you lift weights twice a week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to come back and follow up with this. I have to end this discussion, and we didn't get a chance to talk a little bit about your major in communication studies. Is that right? You're in communication studies?
Yeah.
But we're going to have to stop for at this time right now. I want you to stay here. I want to just talk to the community for a second. I want to mention the fact that recently a friend of mine, former president of the university, Pat Goodall, passed away. Pat was a wonderful person, led the university for a number of years. After stepping down as president, he came over to public administration and was a scholar in what we would all think of in terms of the academic community. Most of all, he was just a decent human being, and we at the university miss him, and we want to extend our condolences to the family for a wonderful individual. And again, I just wanted to say that we miss Pat Goodall, a friend, scholar at the university. And I want to say goodbye to the community. Good evening, and I hope to hear from you. If you have any ideas or suggestions, just let us know at UNLV-TV. Thank you for watching the Urban Report.